The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Donald Trump wants President Obama to show his birth certificate. He joins us by phone. Nice to have you with us again, sir.
Thank you very much.
You said on ABC there's something on Obama's birth certificate that he doesn't like. Some say you're taking some flack from the media about that. Specifically, why do you think the birth certificate is an issue?
Well, I don't think I'm taking flack at all. In some cases, they don't necessarily think that, what the Constitution says or what the laws of the land say pertain, and in other cases they agree with me. So I think it's been a very even mix. I think the media has treated it quite fairly. It's a very simple situation. I'd just like to see his birth certificate. It can't get any simpler than that. And I'm hearing all sorts of stories that his own family can't agree which hospital he was born in and lots of other things. And I'm trying to find out, where is the birth certificate? I have a birth certificate. You perhaps have a birth certificate. Where is the birth certificate? You're born in this country, and, to the best of my knowledge, people have birth certificates.
What do you think is going on in Hawaii, where Governor Neil Abercrombie first ordered both the state attorney general and health department director to release more information about Obama's purported birth certificate there ASAP, but later apparently abandoned all of it?
Well, it is an amazing situation. And then the governor said, but I remember when he was born. I said, what? You remember when he was born? You actually remember when somebody was born? It sounded very unusual that a Democratic governor would remember when somebody was born 50 years ago. You're talking about 50 years ago. And so I think it's a very strange situation. I assume that he was born in the United States. I assume he was probably born in Hawaii. But I have to get rid of the word assume, because you can't assume. If somebody wants to run for president, you have to be born in this country. And when the family argues about which hospital it was because they're not sure, as has been reported by you and others, by the way, and then you don't have a birth certificate, and even the article in the Houston paper was put in a number of days after the birth. It wasn't put in the identical day. It was put in a number of days after the birth. It's sort of a strange situation.
Obama promised to run the most transparent White House in history. Has he lived up to that?
Well, certainly he hasn't in terms of his birth, and I guess a lot of college records and other records haven't been produced, as I understand it, and that's a little unusual. Why wouldn't you produce your records? So there's certainly not a lot of transparency, certainly not the kind. I remember when he was running, he was talking about being so transparent. But if you look at the records, there's many, many things. As an example, client lists that haven't been produced and lobbying lists that haven't been produced. So there's a lot of things that haven't been produced to somebody that's supposed to be so transparent.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.